Good morning, everyone. Live from Garden City Ice Arena, and the Penguins are just coming out of their dressing room, getting onto the Garden City ice from Garden City, Michigan. Welcome, everyone. puck has been dropped. Little Caesars gets an early shot. Hewitt brings up the puck. Starts taking out. Shot by Hewitt. And Del Signor picks it up, sends it back in. Early offside. Puck is dropped. Little Caesars gets it into the Penguin zone. Stern sends it around the boards. Goes out. Evans chases it. Evans on the breakaway. Evans with a rush. Shot on that. Big save by the Little Caesars goalie. Little Caesars starts advancing the other way. Durden goes in for a stick check. Durden keeps him out to the outside. Goes back to the point. Point shoots in. And nice save by Nichols. Somebody can just chat on the, say, is there audio? We've had reports from Don Snyder, there's no audio. I am hearing it on my YouTube. Penguins get it out of the zone. And it goes back down the other way. Chased by Woods. Woods backhands it across the front. Howe pinches in, and Howe chips it up to the back corner. Penguins, Mooney working behind the net. Mooney looking for somebody to pass to. Mooney, shot up over the net. Chased by Briggs. And now Little Caesars advances the other way. Big shot, big save by Nichols, big pad save. And net's off, and that will be called. It's this is what I don't understand. Hey everyone, I need some help. If you can comment that you can hear or not hear. Oh, Jamie Moskovich says she can hear me. So we've had 2 reports of people who can't hear, but Jamie can hear, and I can hear it off my YouTube connection. So I don't know what's, oh, Don can hear it now. Now at the beginning of the game when they have the music going, I do have to put it on mute, otherwise Google blocks the feed. So it was mute until the first puck drop. So maybe that's what people were hearing. Okay, so Little Caesar starts advancing the other way, and Penguins get it out of the zone, and Little Caesar starts cycling it around. Oh, great. Everybody can hear. I see Nichols can hear, and Anita can hear, and Don can hear. Great. Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for commenting. Okay, I'll continue the game. Thanks for raising that, by the way, to Del Signor and Snyder. Appreciate that, because we can get the sound fixed right away. So, okay, Little Caesars shot, and Koussis dumps it out of the zone. Little Caesars goes back into the zone, and they start driving towards the net. Nice stick from Del Signor, and Del Signor up to Moski. Moski, nice backhand over to Koussis. Koussis starts driving up the ice. Koussis dumps it and goes for a change. Smart play. Woods drives in. Stern picks it up, and Little Caesars drives it to the outside, but that gets picked up by Lugelia, and Lugelia to Mooney. Mooney, nice toe drag. Mooney with a backhand goalie save. Mooney gets it back to point to Stern. Stern with a shot, deflection from Lugelia, and that gets stopped by the Little Caesars goalie. Puck will be dropped to the left of the goalie at 10:31 left in the first period. 0-0 hockey game. Mooney facing off. Puck dropped. Goes back to Stern. Stern sends it back in. Mooney chases behind the net with help from Woods. Woods has that side to Mooney. Or to Lugelia, back to Mooney. Mooney has it. Mooney in the corner. Mooney stick handling around. Sends it to Lugelia. Lugelia back to Mooney. Mooney looking to create some space. Sends it back to Durden. Durden back into Woods. Woods has it, chasing for it behind the net. And that gets picked up by Lugelia. And Lugelia, free shot. Shot on net, rebound. And goalie catches it out of the air and freezes the play. Puck will be dropped again to the left side of the goalie. 9:50 left in the first period. Jukes. Picked up by Snyder. Snyder shot towards the net. Goalie pushes it up to the outside. Jukes back around behind the net to Snyder. Snyder picks it up. And to Hewitt. Hewitt back to Snyder. Snyder cycling around. And Little Caesars gets the puck. Starts driving it up the ice. Little Caesars battling. Jukes helping. And Snyder starts driving it up the ice, takes it out of the zone. Snyder still has control, and he gets up to Hewitt. Howe with Briggs, and Briggs blocks it. Nice block by Briggs. Jukes picks it up from the corner up to Hewitt. Hewitt trying to drive it out of the zone, back to Jukes, and Jukes chips it up out of the zone. And that will be an icing call, 8:49 left in the first period. Evans, so we have the Evans line out there, so that's Evans, Moski, and Koussis with Del Signor and Hall on D. Evans facing off. Evans ties up the draw. Hall goes in to help, sends it back, goes back to the Little Caesars D. Little Caesars D cycling it with his wingers. And the wingers passing it back. He fans on that, and he tries to gain control. He does gain control, has it behind the boards. Del Signor goes into chase, and Evans helping out. Evans picks it up and starts driving up the ice. Evans, shot on net, and there, nice shot by Hall, gets deflected wide. And they chip up. Koussis working at it. And Mooney picks it up. Mooney driving up the ice. Mooney with support from Woods. And Lugelia. Del Signor shoots. Goes wide of the net. Hall picks it up. Sends it around to Mooney. Back to the Hall. And that goes out now. Little Caesar starts advancing on Del Signor, 1-on-1. That gets picked up by Hall. Hall Chips it down, and that is going to be an icing. The puck will be dropped just to the right side of the goalie, to Nichols. So Jukes facing off. Stern and Durden on D. Goes back to Stern. Stern sends it around to Durden. Durden sends it around. Back to Stern. Jukes picks it up behind the net. Starts driving up the ice. Pressure from the Little Caesars player. Drops it back to Stern. Stern now drives it up. Pressure from the Little Caesars player again. And that goes up to Snyder. Snyder chips it out and starts driving up the ice. And that is offside. Jukes with Hewitt and Snyder. And we got Stern and Durden on D. Jukes facing off. Jukes wins the draw, gets it back to Stern. Stern over to Durden. Durden sends it up the boards to Hewitt. Hewitt to Jukes. Back to Hewitt. Driving up the ice now. Little Caesars. Nice stick by Stern. Stern picks it up, starts driving the other way. He gets back checked by the Little Caesars player, but Snyder sends it out of the zone. Little Caesars player knocked down, no calls on that, and goes back to Stern, and Stern sends it around the boards to Hewitt. Little Caesars sends it back in. Stern goes and picks it up, takes a look, and he starts driving up the ice. Sends it, headmans it to Hewitt. Hewitt driving up the ice, gets stick checked by the Little Caesars. That goes to Snyder, and Snyder dumps it in and goes for the change. We now have our Evans line out there with Howe and Briggs on D. Shot from Koussis. Glove save. Little Caesar starts driving it up the other way. Howe keeps the Little Caesars player wide. Howe picks it up, sends it up to Mosky. Defense pinches in, and battling for it, Little Caesars. Shot from the point, glove save by Chris Nichols. Evans facing off. Little Caesars wins, gets it over to the side. Howe ties up Little Caesars, and another one sends it back behind the net. Briggs battling at the side, sends it up to Koussis. Koussis drives it up the ice. Koussis drives it out of the zone. Koussis gets banged into the boards, and looks like that'll be penalty on Little Caesars, but I didn't see what the call is. Let's see what the call. A hooking call on the Little Caesars player. So this will be our first power play of the game. 5:01 left in the first period. So we got our Mooney line out there. So Mooney, Woods, and Lugalia with Del Signor and Hall on point. Goes back to Del Signor. Del Signor sends it up to Woods. Woods back to Hall. Hall back into Woods, and fortunately that goes out. And then Del Signor picks it up and starts getting going again. So nice to Woods and to Lugalia. Lugalia drives it in, back to Woods, and Woods gets tied up and the puck goes to the other side. Picked up by Little Caesars, they drive it up. Del Signor skates, picks up the puck. He backhands it up to Mooney. Mooney cycles around, trying to get free of the Little Caesars player. He drives in with Woods. Nice toe drag. Gets it to Hall. Hall over to Del Signor. Del Signor back to Hall, to Mooney. Mooney cycling it around, back to Del Signor. Del Signor back to Hall. Hall, shot on net, gets deflected wide. Goes back to Del Signor. Del Signor with a shot, goes wide of the net. Mooney picks it up behind the net. Mooney looking for an opportunity. He sends it over to Hall. Hall shoots, and fortunately didn't get a shot off. Little Caesar tried to clear it, but nice block by Del Signor keeps it in. Woods has it behind the net. Woods over to Mooney. Mooney looking to, oh, back to Woods. Woods shoots back to Woods. Del Signor chips it over to Hall. And Little Caesar starts getting it out. That gets picked up by Del Signor. And Del Signor sends it back in, and Penguins go for a shift change. And we are back at even strength. Goes back to Stern. Stern chips it up the boards. Little Caesar starts driving it in. And shot, but Stern deflects it wide. Durden putting pressure on the player with help from Hewitt. Hewitt gets the puck, and Hewitt drives it out of the zone and chips it up the ice. This is going to be an icing call. 2:38 left in the first period, and puck will be dropped to the left of Nichols. We have our Jukes line out there, so that's Jukes, Snyder, and Hewitt, and Hall and Durden on D. Puck dropped, and Jukes picks it up, starts driving it out of the zone with support from Snyder. Jukes cuts over, gets the stick check on him, and that goes out of the zone. Durden chips it back into the zone and chased in by Hewitt. Hewitt putting pressure on the D, and the D send it out of the zone, and they start advancing in. Pressure from Durden. Durden gets up to Jukes, and Jukes to Hewitt, and Hewitt dumps it in. Goes for the change. Getting our Evans line out there now. Evans drives up there, puts pressure on, and they start driving in. Shot goes wide of Nichols, and Burt Briggs picks it up behind the net. Shot saved by Nichols. Another shot blocked by Briggs, and Evans starts going up the ice. Evans headmans it to Koussis. Koussis driving it in. Little Caesars try to chip it out of the board, and they do succeed. And there's a foot race with Howe, and the player, Howe, does a stick check, gets it up to Briggs. Briggs tries to get out of the zone, and Evans comes in to help. Evans, Koussis, Briggs battling the Little Caesars player in the corner. They send it around the boards, chased by Mosky, and that goes back to Howe. Howe sends it over to Koussis. Koussis starts driving it up the ice, headmans it to Evans. Evans gets stopped by the Little Caesars player, and Little Caesars sends it back into the zone. Picked up by Howe. Howe cuts back, sends it up to Evans. Evans to Koussis, and they start driving it out of the zone. Koussis dumps it in the zone, and they go for a change. 34 seconds left in this period. Little Caesar starts driving it in, and Del Signor to Mooney. Mooney chips it up out of the zone. 18 seconds left in the period. Little Caesars headmans the puck, and they start driving it in, try to get a shot off. Nice work by Lugelia to stop that shot, and Hall sends it up the ice, and Little Caesars backhands it in, goes to Woods, and that is the end of the period. Tied at 0, very close game, shots both ways. I'm going to go put this on mute. I do see that the music is back on. We don't want Google Excellent. Cool. Thank you, Mark. Puck drops, second period. Hall chips it up. We got our Jukes line out there with Del Signor and Hall on D. Little Caesars starts out way in the zone. Del Signor picks it up, sends it up to Hewitt. Hewitt up to Jukes. They start rushing it up the ice. Jukes gets stopped. He chips it in, and that's going to be an offside. Jukes facing off. Juke, puck dropped. Tied up in the legs. Hewitt goes in, picks it up, dumps it into the zone, chased by Jukes. Little Caesars tries to get it out. Does. Oh, almost got it to their guy, but nice play by Del Signor to stop the, to pick up the puck. Little Caesars missed the puck on their way out of the zone, and they now cause an offside. We had that player stretching, the Little Caesars player stretching on the side there, and he had got himself offside. 14-12 left in the second period, and the ref is taking it all the way up into the Little Caesar zone. We got our Evans line out there with Kusas and Mosky and Durden and Stern. Mosky shot towards the net, gets blocked by the D. Little Caesars chips it out of the zone. That gets picked up by Stern. Stern sends it back up to Kusas. Little Caesars with stick check start driving it up the ice. And Little Caesars gets a shot towards the net, and that's shot. And they send it up the ice. Little Caesars drives it back in, and nice block by Stern, and he pushes him to the outside. Little Caesar still cycling it around, gets it over, shot towards the net. Nice block again by Stern, keeps the puck to the outside. Goes over to Kusas. Kusas gets knocked down, and Kusas back up. He picks the puck. He's battling with the player. Jukes, sorry, that's Stern goes in to help, and Little Caesars cycling it around here. They try to cut back. Kusas charges like a bull and pins the guy into the boards. And that allows Penguins to get a nice change. We got our Mooney line out there with Howe on D with Stern. Little Caesars chips it up. They start breaking it in. Stick by Howe. Howe sends it back up to Woods. Woods drives it up. Little Caesar starts driving it the other way. Stern putting lots of pressure on, and they're unable to get a pass out front. Howe picks it up, sends it back up the boards, and there's no icing on that play. This allows Stern to change with Briggs, and now Little Caesar starts stick handling out of their zone. Mooney trying to back check. Stick by Howe. Howe keeps the advance from going, and they send it the other way and shot on net. Mooney goes in, chases after it behind the net. Little Caesars cuts it back to the weak side and starts advancing up. Picked up by Hewitt, stopped from going out. Hewitt gets a nice shot on net. That goes over to Snyder, and Little Caesars gets it out of the zone, and now that's chased all the way down, and that will be icing call at 11:29 left in the second period. Face off by Jukes. Gets it back to Briggs. Briggs sends it backhands in. That gets picked up by the Little Caesars having trouble getting it out. Now foot race by Briggs. Interference on, I didn't see who. Looks like Snyder, interference call on Snyder. I didn't see that, but 11:15. This is going to be our first penalty kill. 11:15 in the second period. Jukes faces off, wins a draw, gets it back to Briggs. Briggs over to Howe. Howe tries to get it up the ice. That gets blocked by the Little Caesars D. They send it across the front of the ice. It goes to the other side. Little Caesars starts cycling it around. Little Caesars. Penguins playing the box, stopping them from getting into the house. Little Caesars cycles it around the outside to their D. Shot goes to Nichols. 2 big saves, and Howe gets it up to Woods, and Woods chips it up the ice, and that goes out. Chased by Jukes. Jukes on a foot race now, and the goalie comes out of the net, chips it up the ice, and they go back on the rush. Little Caesars cycling it around again. Penguins playing the nice box, and that gets stopped by Chris Nichols. No rebound, and he freezes it, and the puck will be dropped to the left of Nichols. 10:27 left in the second period. 1:12 left in the penalty. Evans wins the draw, gets it over to Hall. Hall battling with the player. Evans goes in to help. Little Caesars picks it up, goes behind the net, starts cycling it around again. Penguins playing the box, stopping the puck from getting into the house. Little Caesars defense passing it, shot, block, nice block by Evans. Now Kousas starts driving it up the ice. Nice chip up the boards. Kousas has a breakaway on the goalie. Kousas comes around, shot. Oh, and big save by the goalie. And looks like a penalty on that play. And we're going to go on a 4-on-4, which is usually really good because that opens up a ton of space. .56 left in the second period, and 41 seconds left on our penalty, which means we're going to get a minute 19 on the power play. Evans out there with Kousas, and Hall and Del Signore on D. Nice stop by Hall. Hall trying to keep the puck in, does get blocked in the feet. Kousas gets it back to Del Signore to Hall, and Hall starts driving up the ice. He sends it up, no icing on that, and Kousas with a shot. That gets deflected wide. Del Signore goes into pinch. Kousas covering him on point, and Kousas slap shot off, but that gets blocked by the Little Caesars player. We are now on power play. Del Signore takes it around the boards. Del Signore starts driving up. 9:06, 1:10 left in this power play. Del Signore driving up the ice. We got our Mooney with Evans out there. Shot on net, goes on the pad, and Del Signore trying to get the second shot off on that rebound. Puck bouncing down, and no icing called on that play. Hall goes in, battling with the Little Caesars player. Chased by Woods now. Woods putting a lot of pressure on the D, and he manages to get the puck off him and stops the advance. Little Caesars does chip it up out of the zone. That gets picked up by Del Signore. Del Signore to Hall. Hall, oh, that gets intercepted, and Little Caesars starts driving in. That goes back to Luke Elliott. Luke Elliott to Mooney, and Mooney with Woods driving up. Mooney with the backhand, and that goes right into the back of the net. And that opens up a 1-0 hockey game. Let's go see that on replay. Luke Elliott to Mooney, and Mooney with Woods driving up. Mooney with the backhand, and that goes right into the back of the net. And that opens up a 1-0 hockey game. Let's go see that. 1-0, 8-11, and that's the end of our power play. Goes back to Stern. Stern, we have our Jukes line out there, so Stern cycling it around. Didn't see an opportunity. Stern to Snyder. Snyder chips it up. Stern chases it with the player. Oh, and Stern gets called on that for interference, and we're going to go on a penalty kill. .7:48 left in the second period. And the puck will be dropped to the left side of Nichols. Little Caesar cycling it around. They get a shot, and that gets saved by Nichols and goes wide. They're cycling it around. They found on the puck. Pressure from Snyder. Snyder trying to get the pressure. They try to deflect, and that goes wide behind the net. Little Caesars player knocked down there. No penalty on that play. And Little Caesars cycling it around. Foot race by Howe. Howe battling for it in the corner. Howe battling against the two players. Goes up to Jukes. Jukes coming in to help Little Caesars. Backhands it out. And they are unable to get a shot off. Snyder goes in to help. Snyder at the boards with Briggs. Briggs has it, trying to get the puck off the Little Caesars player. And nice work by Snyder. Snyder, nice stick. Little Caesars does get it shot off. And Nichols. And, oh, that makes it a tied hockey game. Rebound off of Nichols. And they manage to get the puck and shoot in the net. So 6:30 left in the second period. Both these goals are result of a power play, though. So this is very similar to our previous game. Goals are scored on the special teams. Little Caesars cycling it around. Little Caesars chips it in. That goes back to Delsignore. Delsignore back to Hall. Hall cuts back. Looks like we had a little bit of a blip there on the YouTube feed. Don't know what happened, but started the third period, tie game at 1. Delsignore cycling it around, gets it over to Hall. Hall up the ice. He chips it up. Chased now by Jukes. Little Caesars sends it back. Little Caesars starts driving it up the ice. They chip it up. Tried to send it up to the stretch player, but that results in an icing. 14:22 left in this third period. Puck dropped. Evans cycles to Kusis. Little Caesars gets it out. Little Caesars starts driving it down the ice. Little Caesars gets it to their point, cycles it around. Nice block by Stern in front of the net. Sends it up to Kusis, and Kusis starts driving up the ice. Kusis cuts over, trying to get a shot off, and he gets blocked by the 2D. Kusis gets pinned to the boards. Lugalia goes in to help, wins the battle, sends it back to Stern. Stern with a shot over towards Evans. Evans gets tied up by the D. Little Caesars starts driving back the other way. Little Caesars. Work by... Ooh, shot on Nichols. Nichols with the glove save. Goes to the side, picked up by Durden. Durden backhands it out. Little Caesars shoots. Again, that gets tied up. Woods backhanding it out. Gets picked up by the D's. They send it back in. Woods picks it up again. He finally gets it out. The D sends it over to that stretch player waiting on the blue. He shoots, but that goes all the way around to Mooney, and Mooney starts driving up the ice. Mooney to Lugalia, back to Mooney. Mooney has it behind the net. Mooney trying to cut back to Lugalia. Lugalia with a shot. And goalie catching it out of the air again there. Goalie very strong on his glove save. We got our Mooney line out there with Lugalia and Woods, and Howe and Briggs. Howe goes up. Howe with a shot. Goes wide. Little Caesars starts going up. Howe with the stick. Little Caesars does pick it. Howe with another stick. He gets it out of the zone, and that is ice offside. And okay, puck drop just outside the zone. Mooney up to Woods. Woods chips it up, gets it into the zone. Woods on the chase. Little Caesars gets going the other way. Briggs tries to block, keeps the guy to the outside, and save. Shot goes off, but saved by Nichols. We got our Jukes line out there with Hall and Delsignore. And so Jukes, Hewitt, and Snyder. Jukes gets it over to Delsignore. Delsignore battling at the side. And Snyder goes in to help, with help from Jukes. And that puck goes back around. Delsignore battling for it. Jukes goes in, chips it up to Snyder. Over to Delsignore gets it over to Hall. Hall sends it back to Jukes. That goes to Snyder. Snyder gets it out over to Hewitt. Hewitt starts driving up the ice. Nice work by Hall. Hall chips it up the boards. Little Caesars battling for it. They chip it into the zone, and they chase after it. Picked up by Delsignore behind the net. Delsignore, pressure from the Little Caesars player, and Jukes goes in to help. They send it across to the front, picked up by Hall in the front, and that goes out of the zone, but Little Caesars brings it back. Jukes trying to send it out again. Little Caesars cycling around. Nice work by Kusis. 2-on-none with, oh, nice save. Oh, what a big save. So that was a 2-on-none. with Evans and Koussis. Let's see that. Little Caesar cycling around. Nice work by Koussis. 2-on-none with, oh, nice save. Oh, what a big save. So that was a 2-on-none with Koussis would have got that in. Koussis, shot on net goes up and above the goalie. Little Caesar starts taking it the other way. Hall sends it around, oh no, sorry, Durden sends it around to Stern. Stern has it behind the net. Stern, pass up to Mosky. Little Caesar sends it in. Durden to Evans. Evans sends it around to Koussis. Koussis chips it up the boards, and this is going to be an icing call. The puck will be dropped down in the Penguin zone. We got our Mooney line out there, so that's Mooney, Lugalia, and Woods, and then Howe and Briggs on D. Mooney facing off. Mooney ties up the puck at center. Lugalia goes in to help. Lugalia up to Woods. Woods starts driving up. Woods chips it out. Nice breakout. Lugalia goes into chase. Lugalia battling for it. Goes back to Howe. Howe sends it back in. Around to Mooney. Mooney has it. Mooney back to Briggs. Briggs back to Mooney. Mooney tries to send it out front. And almost a shot there. But Little Caesars cycling it around again. They start advancing up the ice. Little Caesars chips it up. Chased now by Briggs. They pass it out front. That gets blocked by Howe, and Howe chips it up to Lugalia. Little Caesar sends it back in, and that goes back out to Lugalia. Lugalia to Mooney. Mooney shot goes wide. Little Caesar sends it round. Little Caesars sends it out of the zone. That's going to be no icing, but no, it isn't. It was a direct shot on net, so no icing on that play. Woods has it at the side there. Woods chips it out, goes to Snyder. Snyder now driving up the ice. We go for a D change. We have Lugalia, or we have Del Signor out there. Del Signor and Hall. Hall back to Del Signor. Del Signor looking for somebody to pass to, sends it up to Snyder. And Del Signor knocked down. Coach says, hey. But we do get the puck up to Jukes. Jukes gets it over to Hewitt. Hewitt with a shot. And looks like there will be a tripping penalty on that play. And if we've seen the trend so far this game, special teams is where the goals have been scored. So we have 8:25 left in the third, tie game at 1, and we got 2 minutes of power play. So out here we have Mooney, Woods, and Evans, Del Signor and Hall on D. Goes back to Del Signor. Del Signor over to Hall. Hall over to Mooney. Mooney across the center to Evans. Evans shoots, it goes up and over the net. Little Caesars trying to get it out. And Hall blocks it at the blue line, sends it back in. Chased by Woods now. Woods battling for it. Evans goes in to help. Over to Mooney. Mooney cycling it out. Around. And Hall pinches in. A shot on net. And that goes wide. And they get it out. Picked up now by... oh, net's off. So we are going to go on a 5-on-3. The fans are not happy at that call. I think the Penguins fans are happy. It's the Little Caesars fans that aren't. So that'll be 119 at the for 5-on-3. Coach called a timeout and gonna set up some plays here. .43 left in this game. Another close game, just like what we saw 2 weeks ago at the Motown Classic. Welcome to our 13 viewers. Okay. .43 left on the third, 1-1 hockey game, and we have a 5-on-3 for minute 19. Penguins should be looking to keep the game clean for the rest of the game. The ref will be looking to even it up. Del Signor cycling to Hall, to Mooney, back to Del Signor. Del Signor over to Mooney. Mooney, nice 360 move, does a backhand on the goalie. 7:27 left in the third, 1:03 left in the 5-on-3. Evans wins it, gets it over to Mooney. Mooney over to Del Signor. Del Signor sends it to Mooney. Mooney sends it to out front, loose out front, shot on net. And that gets stopped in the goalie's pads. This is pretty exciting. 5-on-3. Evans facing off. Evans wins it, gets it to Woods. Woods to Mooney, back to Hall. Hall to Mooney, to Hall, back to Del Signor. Del Signor over to Mooney. Mooney cycling it around. Mooney back to Del Signor. Del Signor with a shot. Loose in front, rebound. Almost a shot off by Woods. Little Caesars picks it up, tries to get it out. 21 seconds left in this 5-on-3. Back to Del Signor. Del Signor drives in. Shot, tried to go for that up corner. Goes up above the net. Little Caesars does pick up the loose puck and sends it out of the zone. And that is an icing, and that'll be pulled all the way down. Five seconds left on this 5-on-3, and then we'll have 42 seconds of 5-on-4. Little Caesars chips it up the boards. We are now back at even strength. Goes back to Mooney. Mooney cycling it around. Mooney driving up the ice. Mooney shot on net. Goes back to the point. 14 seconds left on this penalty. Back to Mooney. Mooney tries to get over to the front. That gets intercepted by Little Caesars. Little Caesars starts driving up the ice. Del Signor on a foot race. Del Signor with a big stick. Goes over to the side. And we are back at even strength. And Del Signor cycles it around to Hall. Hall up the glass, off the glass, and they go for a change. We got Jukes line out there, and that is going to be an icing call in the Penguins, and puck will be dropped in the Penguin zone. 5:20 left in the game. 1-1 hockey game. So we got Durden and Stern out on D, and we got our Jukes line out there, so that's Jukes and Hewitt and Snyder. Puck drop, gets over to Hewitt. Hewitt driving towards it. Shot on net, Nichols stops it. Puck will be dropped to the left of Nichols. Jukes facing off. Jukes ties it up and gets it out of the zone. Little Caesars cycling it around. Little Caesars chips it up the ice. Little Caesars trying to bring it out of the neutral zone. Keeps getting blocked by the Penguins. They do finally get it into the zone. Chased now by Durden. Durden pushing the puck to the outside. Great work by Durden. And Little Caesars get a change, and the guy was by himself, and Snyder picks the puck off the guy, starts driving up the ice with support from Jukes. Drop pass to Jukes. Jukes heading for that top corner. Glove saved by the goalie. Nice work by the Penguins on that play. We got our Mooney line out there with Lugalia and Woods, and Briggs and Howe on point. 4:26 left in the third period. Lugalia sends it behind the net. Woods goes in to chase it. Mooney chasing that, and Little Caesars trying to break it out of the zone. They start driving up the zone. They break it into the Penguin zone. They send it around the boards, picked up by Howe. Howe tries to get it back. That gets picked up by Little Caesars, but Mooney comes in to help, picks it up, starts driving up with Woods. Woods cuts back. Woods tries to get it over to Briggs. Gets deflected by the Little Caesars player to the corner, picked up by Mooney, back to Woods. Woods sends it to Howe on point. Howe with a quick shot, and that gets caught by the player. Little Caesar shoots it out. Howe sends it back up the ice to Woods. Woods sends it directly to the goalie. Shot on net. 3:30 left in the third period. Little Caesar headmans the puck. Briggs pushing the guy to the outside. Del Signor goes in there. Del Signor battling for it. Little Caesar starts cycling it around. Little Caesar shoots it in. Chased by Del Signor. Del Signor sends it around the boards to Briggs. Briggs cuts back, passes it to Del Signor. Del Signor up to Moski. Moski headmans it to Koussis. Koussis shot on net, blocker save. That was going for the side of the net there. Moski sends it back in, picked up by Koussis. Koussis battling with it, sends it to Moski. Moski, Evans loose in front. Moski working with Koussis. Evans goes in to help. Evans picks it up behind the net. Evans, Moski hurt, going off the ice. Evans gets knocked. No, that's Koussis gets knocked down there. Evans tries to send it out to Hewitt. Hewitt gets knocked down. And Little Caesar starts driving it up the ice. Whoa, Little Caesars pass there, almost get a shot off, and the puck goes wide, and Penguins send it out of the zone and go for a change. 2:02 left in this third period. 1-1 hockey game. Two very evenly matched teams. Always exciting to play against Little Caesars. Oh, coach called timeout. Little Caesars trying to set up a play for the last 2 minutes of the game. Okay. Puck dropped. Jukes gets it over to Briggs. Briggs sends it over to Howe. Howe chips it up to Jukes. Headmans it to Jukes. Jukes on the rush with support from Snyder. Jukes goes in for a shot. Oh, goes wide. Little Caesars tries to recover from that. Headmans the puck. They start going up the ice. Howe keeping him to the outside with help from Hewitt. He does get a shot off, goes to the front of the net, but that's nicely picked up by Snyder. Snyder gets it over to Hewitt, and Hewitt chips it up the ice. Nice work by Snyder. He got it out over the blue line. We get a forward line change. Mooney goes out there with Lugelli and Woods, and they start driving in. Howe keeps the player to the outside. Shot. Nichols pushes it. Puck loose in front of the net. Shot. Blocked by Howe. Goes to the outside. Battling for it in the side. Goes back to the D. D with a shot. Howe lifts up the player's stick, and that goes to the outside. Little Caesar cycling it around. Little pressure from Lugelia. Shot picked up by Howe in front. Howe headmans it to Woods. Woods starts driving up the ice. We go for a D change. We got Hall and Del Signor out there. And goes back around to Mooney. Mooney chips up the boards to Lugelia. Lugelia over to Woods. And Little Caesars cycling it back. Little Caesars sends it over to the front, and they're unable to get it into the zone without going offside. So he cuts back, now drives into the zone, shoots, goes wide on the net, picked up by Del Signor. Del Signor up to Woods. And Evans, headmans it to Evans. Evans on the break, and stick check on Evans stops the advance. That is offside. 6 seconds left in this period. Very exciting last 2 minutes. So 6 seconds left for Penguins to get an opportunity here. We got Evans out here with Koussis and Mosky, Del Signor and Hall on D. Evans faces off, gets it into the zone right away. Koussis got blocked on that, couldn't get into the other D, and that is the end of the third period, tied at 1. I think they're asking for some OT. So let's stay. Don't hang up the connection just yet. Looks like we're gonna have some OT. Coaches talking together. Don't know if they're gonna do shootouts or it's gonna be 5-on-5. That's what I heard somebody shout. So we will see. Wow, this makes it. The plot thickens. So this will be pretty exciting. Okay, so we're going to have 5 minutes of overtime here. And we are going to have out here, same line that we had on previous. So we're going to have the Mooney line with Lugelia and Woods and Hall and Del Signor on D. Puck dropped. Little Caesars chips it back in, chased by Del Signor. Del Signor has it behind the net. Del Signor cuts back. Del Signor working. Hall cuts back the other way, gets the puck loose, looking for somebody to pass to. Chips up the boards to Mooney. Mooney to Lugelia. Lugelia headmans it to Woods. Woods picks up again to Mooney. Mooney driving up the ice. Mooney. Oh, nice toe drag. Shot on net. Saved by the goalie, rebounded out, picked up by Woods in front, and goes back to Hall. Hall with a shot. Goes wide. Little Caesars gets it out of the zone, and Hall chips it back up. Almost a too many men. I heard coach calling too many. But no hand up on that one. Little Caesar starts driving up the ice. Little Caesars tries to headman that, and that forces an icing, and that will enable a change for the Penguins. So we have the Jukes line out there with Snyder. Jukes, Snyder, and Hewitt, and Howe and Briggs on point. 3:42 left in this overtime. Tied at 1. Jukes with a shot off. Face off. Goalie stops it immediately. This goalie is great at not allowing any rebounds out. Jukes facing off again. Jukes gets it back. Howe chips in, sends it around to Snyder behind the net. Snyder cuts back. Snyder still has the puck. Snyder looking to see who he can send it to. Goes to Briggs. Briggs to Jukes, and that gets intercepted by Little Caesars, and Little Caesars start turning it around. Nice work by Briggs there. Stops the advance. Snyder gets knocked down on that advance out of the zone, and Briggs chases the player. Jukes has the puck. Jukes starts driving up, headmans it to Snyder. Snyder, Hewitt, and they start driving into the zone. 2:59 left in this overtime. Hewitt has it behind the net. Hewitt tries to get over to the front. Jukes goes in there to help. Little Caesars chips it out of the zone, and this is going to be an icing call. This will allow Penguins to get a new line out there. 2:47 left in OT. We got our Mooney line out there with Evans and Koussis, and Stern and Durden on D. No icing called on that play. They tried to stretch it to the person on the blue line, but it got away from them. Stern picks it up behind the net. Stern chips it around to Koussis. Koussis to Evans. Evans starts driving up the ice. Evans backhands it to Mooney. Oh, work. And shot on net. Goes wide. Little Caesars picks it up. Koussis, good effort to try and keep the puck in. Goes to Stern. Stern chips it up the glass to Koussis. Little Caesars picks it up, starts driving it in. Little Caesars with a shot. Nice deflection from Stern. Stern's doing a great job deflecting the puck to the outside. Big body check on Durden, and that will put the Penguins in a power play. You can't do that at this level of hockey. Number 88, very unhappy on that body check. Power play, 1:47 left, and face off just outside the Penguin zone. We got Jukes facing off with Koussis and Woods, and we got Del Signor and Hall on D. Jukes working with Koussis. Jukes, Koussis. Nice deflection by Nichols. Nichols sends around, goes to Hall. Hall headmans it to Woods. Woods to Jukes. Jukes to Koussis. And Koussis starts driving in. Back to Jukes. Jukes over to Hall. Hall with a big shot. Rebound. And Little Caesars gets it over to the side. Del Signor has it in the corner. Del Signor back to Jukes. Jukes driving it in to the front of the net. And Woods picks up the loose puck, sends it to Del Signor, back to Woods. Woods with a shot, unable to get the puck off. 56 seconds left in this period. Goes back to the point. Hall with a slap shot. Nice save by the Little Caesars goalie. Back to Hall. Hall over to Koussis. Koussis shot goes up and over the goalie. Del Signor gets knocked down. And Koussis tried to get it over to Hall for a shot that gets picked up by Little Caesars. Little Caesars driving it down the ice. Picked up now by Woods. Woods driving up the ice. Woods chips it in, allows for a change, And Little Caesar starts driving it the other way. 11 seconds left. And this is going to be an icing call. Oh, no, it isn't. It's Evans not happy that that was not icing. Howe sends it out of the zone. Little Caesars D keeps it in. And that is the end of the game. Now the big $1 million question is there going to be a shootout? Oh, there was a crazy shootout last night, if anybody watched that one. It was Flyers versus Toronto, and that went all the way to 11 players, I believe. So pretty exciting shootout that, watching that one. Oh, I don't know what I think that's the end of the game. And we will end that at a 1-1 tie. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a good rest of your weekend. This is a long weekend. Make sure you change those clocks around. And we get that extra hour sleep, so that was pretty cool. Anyways, have a good rest of the week.